Close the deal, I am the destroyer. I am the chosen lawyer. Training hard to knock them to the floor. I am the chosen lawyer.
And we are back for a third week Chosen Life podcast. He's back. City Councillor Alvin Tedjo from City of Mississauga, Faison, Jonathan, and Kormans LP. We close real estate deals, corporate deals, wills and estates, but we also do podcasting, and so does he. And we're talking about last week your podcast in camera.
Yep.
And you were hinting that more guests to come. So it's been 6 months, some heavy hitting guests. Can you give us a sneak peek what's going to come into the future of in camera?
Yeah, I think you'll see a couple more mayors, maybe some party leaders here and there. Definitely want to get on some more subject matter experts about some specific things. Maybe we'll have yourself on. We'll see.
I was going to say, if Doug Ford ever cancels on you last minute, you're like, hey, I need a quick replacement. We're just a phone call away. We're just down the street from you. So it'll be awesome.
For sure.
So this episode is going to be the crystal ball episode for the most part.
Okay.
And so we want to take a look at our crystal ball and see what's going to come to the future. So let's start off with the future of Alvin Tedjo. So we're looking at your crystal ball. They say when you make plans, God laughs. But where do you see the future of Alvin Tedjo in the next 10 years or so?
It's funny. My wife and I have a saying. I think we saw this on a TV show. Step 1, make a plan. Step 2, do the plan. So, The Best Laid Plans is another great political book that you should read at some point by Terry Fallis. But it sort of talks about that in politics, the best laid plans aren't always what ends up happening. And so you got to be flexible. You got to be nimble. And so when I ran for mayor last year, that was jumping at an opportunity, right? Next year is going to be a little bit more tricky because if, the decision to be made there is whether or not to leave the seat in order to run again or to, do what I've been doing and continue advocating for my community, which I always want to do, right? So it's hard to predict the future, but as long as I'm in a position to do what I can for my community, I'm going to keep doing that. So I'll run again, and then we'll see where it goes.
I presume it's sitting down with family, friends, confidants in the industry and figuring it out. There's you chart different waters and decide it can go this way, that way. Ultimately, it's going to be what's best. You've given your life to your community, and you're going to continue to do so. And I guess it's wherever the energy is best spent that you can most make a difference. Yeah,
absolutely. And like you said, it is a family decision. Exactly as you said, when I decided to run the last couple of times for councillor and for mayor, it was a conversation at our dinner table with my wife and our kids. I wanted them to have input as well, see what they thought about it, because it actually affects them too, right? I mean, they're not obviously in the public eye the way I am, but people see me, they also see them. And so sometimes, they'll hear things because, they're my children. And so I want to make sure that they're clear and part of the process of that too. But I think, we've accepted that this is kind of my line of work and that I'm going to try to keep doing this. And if I can continue earning the trust of my constituents, then I'm happy to serve.
Any juggling points between you on council and province and federal government? You would see you juggle those roles at any point?
I'm very happy at the city of Mississauga right now. I know in the past I've run provincially, and obviously I've worked closely with federal counterparts and friends. But no, I have every intention of staying at the city of Mississauga for the foreseeable future.
I could say for Mr. Stylish and intellect, as far as all the roles you've accumulated to date, and I sitting here, I wouldn't want to debate you on anything. I could see as far if Alvin's on this, he's going to win a debate every single time, and I can only imagine sitting here and then sitting in camera, the lively discussions. It's been an interesting path so far, hasn't it?
It has been really interesting. It's a great place to work. You're so much more on the ground, in the weeds with people and with organizations. And so your ability to help, I think, is so much greater at this level of government. Having worked for an MPP in the past, you hear about these challenges and these problems, and then you go to the ministry and you try to get things done for people. Here, I can pick up the phone. I can call a manager or a director or somebody who can directly help those people, and I can help them solve their issues. So we can't fix every problem, but we're much more attached to it. There's this funny sort of idiom where you hear that if the city stopped working, you would notice within hours because the traffic lights wouldn't be working, your garbage wouldn't get picked up, 911 wouldn't get answered,
Snow wouldn't get cleaned.
snow wouldn't get cleaned. You would see it immediately. If the province ceased to exist, it might take a few weeks. You know, your schools would shut down, other things would start to happen. And then if the federal government disappeared, I mean, when was the last time you needed to renew your passport? I know more important things happen there, but this is the level that interacts with people most on a daily basis. So it's one of the best places to be.
The jokes are just flying through my head right now, so I'm just leaving them to be.
Well, Hazel used to also say that the feds had all the money, the province had all the power, and the municipalities had all the problems.
I was going to say all the responsibilities.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Challenges.
Yes. Now, we already talked about the NFL probably not coming to Mississauga. I know people were excited about that prospect, but Faison had this magical year of 2035 that he wanted to bring about. So
Okay.
we're talking about your future. Now we're going to talk about the year 2035 and what Mississauga is going to look like.
All right. 10 years down the road in the city of Mississauga.
Your concrete plan of change? Anything?
Oh, wow. Absolutely. I mean, if I had 10 years, if I'm here for another 10 years, I would love to see us take huge strides when it comes to housing affordability, transit-oriented communities. I would like us to see, a lot of these transit corridors get built up. And by that, I mean, we had a short, medium, and long-term plan in our platform when I was running for mayor about how to increase transit ridership and service. And it's, an immediate injection to make sure that the routes are there, people are getting their buses on time, and then having, bus lanes within existing neighborhoods, within existing lanes and right-of-ways. It's not about, we need a shiny new LRT. We absolutely do. But what can we do in the next few months that gets more people on and have a reliable service? And then working towards those long-term goals, we need to have the Hurontario LRT loop go around downtown Mississauga. You're going to have hundreds of thousands of people here without access to rapid transit. And that needs to be linked with the Milton Line corridor, which is the best return on investment for any transit project in the entire province of Ontario. And we need the province and the federal government to get on it. And I was working in the Ontario government, in 2011, 2012, 2013, when we announced the Hurontario LRT. So, God willing, I hope that by 2035 it is up and running. There's a tunnel through Brampton. There's a loop around Mississauga, and we can get people to the airport. So we created, my team created a grid of, rapid transit bus routes, new LRTs, new BRTs that we need to get going. And so maybe in 10 years they're not all going to be done, but I'd like at least, shovels in the ground and plans made. And then I want to see Mississauga get to a place where, we're proud again about being one of the most livable, walkable, affordable cities in Canada to live in. Safe. Right now it is, we're sort of scoring pretty well on happiness, which is good.
Yeah.
But people's concerns about affordability, about safety, about how they get around is really, really high. And so we need to do a better job at making those communities and making those changes that makes a real improvement on that.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Rapid fire?
Do you think we're going to be in flying cars like the Jetsons by 2035?
No. No. I mean, I have 2 EVs, and I think that's as far as we're going to go. And the batteries are only heavier, right? And it's going to be harder to fly them.
And I was gonna ask you a segue to that. What is your car choice, and what's your favorite car?
7-8 years ago, I bought my wife and I bought the Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid, built in Windsor, Ontario.
Right.
Because I worked with Charles Souza and his office, who had worked with Chrysler at the time to make sure that they were going to build those cars there and have those jobs stay in Canada, and that they created a new incentive for EVs for larger occupancy vehicles, and that I was going to buy one of those. So I was really proud to take one of those off the line, one of the first ones. And then now I also drive a Kia EV Niro. Not that I didn't want to support domestic, but I needed another vehicle, and I was on the waiting list for over a year for some other domestic cars I couldn't get access to. So that's what it's going to be for now. But
All EVs, that mean.
yeah, I mean, my house, we also have 40 solar panels on our roof.
So,
That was important to me too. And we were part of the microfit program with the province. One of the good things about working for the province or working for the city is just the knowledge that you get of all the programs that exist, right? Because you see all the press releases. And so you're just like, oh, I got to do that. Oh, we have a microfit program. Oh, that means I get a feed-in tariff as a producer of power that the IESO now gives me money for, which essentially washes out the cost of my electricity, which is great. And I get to insulate my roof and extend the life of it and all of that. So that's great too.
If you want to take advantage of these programs in the city of Mississauga and you're a resident, Alvin Tedjo's office, give him a shout. He'll lead you to these programs.
Yeah.
Rapid fire, Faizan.
your proudest moment as a dad up till now?
Oh my God. Oh, that's so hard.
We'll take that as a politician dad.
As a politician dad, I mean, I have 3 kids, so it's hard to pick up one moment, but
At least you didn't ask him to pick a favorite. 'Cause, of course, that's not one.
so my oldest son, who was in grade 9 last year, and so they have Take Your Kids to Work Day. And he came here in a suit. Actually, I don't think he was wearing a tie, but he was wearing a jacket and nice pants and a dress shirt. And one of my motions that I put forward, it didn't pass, but it was to legalize street sports in the city of Mississauga. Hockey, basketball. I don't think most people know this, but it's illegal to do that.
Or cricket even.
Cricket, doesn't matter what it is. You can't play sports on the street.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're in a cul-de-sac or whatever it is. Obviously, we were trying to make it reasonable. But anyway, I told my son that I was doing this, and actually the day that he was coming, we were debating it. And did he want to do a deputation? And he did. He came up in front of city council, spoke in front on the live webcast as well,
Amazing.
wrote his own notes about what he wanted to say. And, you know, he's 13 years old. So that was a pretty proud dad politician moment.
Great.
Pretty sure
That's a good one.
He's raising a future politician.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, I don't know that he loves it that much, but he was happy to participate.
Right.
Next question. Promise me you won't get upset on this one.
Okay.
You can't live in the city of Mississauga, okay? You've been banned. They've just said you've been here. You've reached your number of years. You have to branch out elsewhere. If you had to live in another city, where would you live and why?
Oh my God. I mean, I lived in Kingston for a number of years while I was going to Queen's University, and it's a great town. It's a great city.
Yeah.
Lots of really good restaurants right by the water. It's kind of similar to Mississauga in that way, although I think they have maybe a healthier relationship with their environment around them, which is good. So maybe I'd go back to Kingston.
Did you ever get to Wolf Island?
Of course. Took the ferry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And did you,
Triathlon, jumped off
did you
the
go
boat.
stay at Shanty and do the yoga retreats and all that?
No, I haven't done that.
Okay.
I haven't done
They
that.
closed it down actually
Yeah.
since COVID, and no more Wolf Island Shanty retreat, unfortunately.
Well, I did
But
the
it-
corn maze a number of times.
Yes.
That was that's fun. It's a nice part of Ontario. Eastern Ontario is
It's very
beautiful.
heritage.
Yeah, and there's a lot of history there.
Yep.
You can do the ghost walk and see the first Parliament buildings where Canada was formed. All the different houses that Sir John A. Macdonald lived in.
Yes.
So it's a neat city.
All right. This will be a tough one for you.
Okay.
Your favorite politician, who you've worked with, or who you have not worked with?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to start. So
Well, let's say you've worked with in the council. Pick one.
I don't know that I want to
What do you
pick
want
friend.
that?
It's all
I'm
good.
going to pick one of my colleagues right now.
They're all great people with great ideas. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to start with who I haven't worked with, and it's going to sound really cheesy, but I'm going to say former President Barack Obama, and I'll tell you why.
All right.
I actually met him when he was running for president because I was
You wrote his debate speeches?
no, I didn't. But I was a very nerdy poli-sci student in university, and so instead of going to spring break in the Dominican or Mexico, I drove with my roommate to Iowa, where you want to be in the middle of spring break in Iowa, obviously, and visiting and seeing Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, and then I got to meet him outside the convention center. He must have had thousands of people there to come see him. And my roommate was getting his book signed. I didn't have a book of his, so I decided to wander around the building. So I wander around the building and I find these 3 SUVs, black, full black windows and all that, and the engines were running. And you could see because it was winter and all the, smoke was coming out. And I'm like, I bet you this is his motorcade. I'm just going to stick around and see what happens. Not 30 seconds later, he comes out and there's just 3 people, Secret Service, 1 aide, and himself. And I was like, oh my God, Senator Obama. And he was like, hi, how are you? And we got to talk. I bet you it wasn't even a minute. It felt like an hour, but I bet you it wasn't even a minute. I got to say, I'm a poli-sci student. I love what you're doing. I'm so inspired. I drove all the way from Canada. I know about your history. I know you lived in Indonesia. So my family's Indonesian. They immigrated from Indonesia. He lived there for many years in his childhood. He even has half siblings who are Indonesian as well. And so we got to talk about that, and it was really neat. And then his aide took a picture, and it's sitting in my office. So I've got this, connection with Barack Obama, which I thought was really cool. And he still remembered some Indonesian words, which was kind of fun too. And then years later, after I got elected, I heard that he had also come to my neighborhood in Clarkson.
What?
If you've ever been to Summit Garden in Mississauga
Right.
on Winston Churchill and Dundas, his half-sister got married, and they had their reception there. And so before he was famous, he had a meal there, and he sat there. And if you go there, you can talk to the owner because he's still there. And the waiter who served him, Barack Obama has that connection to Mississauga. Even though he can't say the word Mississauga, he says Mississauga.
Do you guys still keep in touch?
Yeah, we text all the time. He actually does follow me on X, which I thought was kind of fun. But no, obviously I can't. I wish I could, but
That was a fan moment.
yeah, it was a little sort of fanboy moment as a young politician.
You're ducking the first question.
I am ducking the first question. It's hard to say. I've worked with a lot of amazing people.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of really good people. I'm going to say, this is, back to a previous episode, I'm going to say Kathleen Wynne, because she really inspired me in a lot of ways, in how I am a politician and how I can work with others and how to get things done. And so I'm going to stick to that.
Next one's a 2-parter. Ready?
Yeah.
Tie or no tie?
It depends on the situation. What's the situation?
How many ties do you own?
Oh, probably close to 50.
Okay. And how in a given week, how many times do you wear a tie, would you say?
3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm pretty consistent. I think I try to wear the right tie for the right occasion. So I will always have the right tie for the right occasion. And if I don't, it flusters me because I was like, how do I not have an orange tie for Orange Tie Day? I do. I have 2. But I'm meeting with Vic Fideli at the AMO conference next week. And someone said, you better wear a yellow tie. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I have one, but I'm going to find one.
Go on. You can borrow mine if you need one.
Okay.
Except it was given to me as a gift years ago. It's a Donald Trump tie.
Oh, wow.
So just make sure you cut that part out.
I think as long as because people have a certain expectation of politicians and what you're doing in certain roles. I think if you're sitting in council chambers like this, you should probably be wearing a tie. You're out and about in the community, you need to wear a jacket. And people expect that of you. I've been told women are judged more than men are. Absolutely. My predecessor, Karen Rass, she had heard comments when she would be grocery shopping in her, pajamas. I'm like, oh, you're, just wandering around in your pajamas, Councillor? And you're like, yeah, because it's Saturday and I'm getting groceries. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
So, I feel like you have to kind of play the role a bit.
But it's funny as a guy, if you're wearing let's say a shirt and tie, and you're going to soccer practice, you're wearing your shirt and tie. You're going to Burger King, you're wearing your shirt and tie. But I'm gonna say, don't you dress down ever? So you can go both ways that way as well.
Yeah, no, and I do go to a lot of games. My kids play a lot of sports, and I do show up, often dressed up way too much. But because I'm coming from one thing.
Do you do own a pair of sweatpants though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm wearing jeans right now.
Sneakers or dress shoes?
So here's the secret. Because I'm on my feet so much during the day, I have transitioned all my dress shoes. So I've got, a couple of blacks and browns that are now basically sneaker dress shoes. So they look like sneakers. They look like dress shoes from far away and from the top. But even these ones right now, they're flat soled.
They are.
They're very comfortable, but from the top, they look like dress shoes.
Yeah.
So I don't wear, other than like my patent leather ones that I would wear with the tuxedo, every dress shoe I own now is kind of a sneaker combo.
There you go.
Great.
You got to stay comfortable on your feet.
He's a
You
chameleon.
have to, yeah, yeah. Your favorite place or restaurant in Mississauga or Ward 2? Your call.
Oh my God, man. You're making this so much harder. There are so many good places that I want to name, and some places that I grew up with, right? Because even growing up here, you know, I went to a lot of Chinese places with my parents. We love going out for Chinese food. You know, Tremendous is open 24 hours, which is fantastic if you're on Wolfdale, because if you bring family over from wherever they're coming from and you're picking them up from the airport and they're hungry, let's go to Tremendous. Great place to go. Just down the street here, there's an Indian bistro that got one of the Michelin recognition awards just last year. Went there the other day with a few friends. Amazing place. A lot of great places in Mississauga. Chef Capra's in Clarkson, fantastic. I've done a lot of events there. He's a good friend as well. Yeah, too many places to name, but just a few there. Samara Kitchen, small Indonesian restaurant that exists kind of near the airport area. Also a great place when my mom's not cooking, but my mom's cooking, also fantastic.
Wonderful.
My last one, and I don't know how we're going to top this. So Kathleen Wynne, Barack Obama. So if you could meet anybody that you haven't met famous in the world, dead or alive, they can come, they can have dinner with you, they can have a drink with you. Who would you pick?
Whew. You know, first thought was Nelson Mandela. That would have been really interesting. Or Mahatma Gandhi. I think, you know, these struggles that they went through, the sacrifices that they did for their people, and the decades-long struggles that they had, and they never lost I'm sure they did at some point struggle with, you know, persevering, but they did it, right? And they're notable because of that. Now, governing is a totally different thing, but leading a movement was something that they were really good at. So, yeah, would love to hear their perspective.
Faizan, who would you meet? Dead or alive, famous?
Wow, that you've put me on the spot.
You only have
John.
10 seconds. Think about that one.
I'd rather say Pierre Trudeau
Okay.
in Canadian context.
Yeah.
Because he inspired me so much. I told you, Jonathan, before as well. He inspired me so much with the constitutionalism of Canada and how it's in place today. Maybe not in the best place, but how it came back to Canada, the repatriation of the Constitution. That inspired me a lot while I was a student in school.
I love going back and seeing some of the clips because I guess the way speeches were written back then, they weren't really speeches. They weren't planned out the same way, I don't think,
I'm sure not.
verbatim as the way they are now, right? So you hear Pierre Elliott Trudeau talk about Canada and his vision for Canada, and you're inspired. And I've met, before he passed away, obviously, Brian Mulroney a number of times, came into Mississauga or around here to give speeches, and he's one of the best storytellers you could ever imagine. None of that was scripted. He's just a good orator. He's a good storyteller, right? And I would love to see that in politics again, where people could bring people together with these, you know, good stories about how we can move on together.
Jonathan, your call?
Yeah, what's yours?
I would pick Babe Ruth. I'd love to meet
Okay.
Babe Ruth and hear his stories. And professional wrestler Ric Flair. Those are the people I'd
Ric
most.
Flair,
Yeah.
Imagine the stories. Imagine Babe Ruth and Ric Flair getting together and swapping stories. That'd be a ton of fun.
Okay.
So we all got our mindsets. Gotta ask you, as we're summing up today's episode, you've been so engaging for the last 3 weeks, Alvin Tedjo. Message you'd like to send to the people of Mississauga, your fans of your new podcast in camera. You'd like to send a message of hope, motivation. What would you like to tell the people?
And just to add on that, any program from the city which you think people should know about and sign up for,
Oh my goodness, there's so many programs that the city offers.
which you feel is the most important.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of seniors right now that I share their concerns. They want to continue living in their homes. I understand it's so important to age in place. There is a program that helps you with your taxes. As a low-income senior on a fixed income, you can apply to the city of Mississauga. You have to apply every year, but you can get a grant that helps you with paying your property taxes in the city of Mississauga. That's really important. I'm not sure how many seniors are watching, but please tell your friends and family or seniors who are struggling with that, because they're almost all on fixed incomes, and most of them don't know that. There's a number of programs that we're launching right now. The water program that I talked about, if you are a low income person or you're a senior and you're a low water user, you can also get a grant. And I'm proud of this, because that was my motion that got this through, so that this could help you continue to live in your own home as well. So a lot of affordability things there, new programs that are now being offered for seniors that are free are coming up and are available. And even kids, there's a lot of kids programming that is free too, that's offered by the city. There's even day camps that are offered by the city that are free that most people don't know about, that I didn't know about until I became a counselor. So please look into those, find those, and take all the programs that we have available, because in order for us to expand those programs, we need those programs to be full, and we need people to ask for more of those, right? Getting involved in the budget process, in the priorities of council. We only hear from a very small group of people, a very, very small group of people. Yeah, and I get about 100 emails a day, but every one of those matters, right? Because I've got 50,000+ people who live in my neighborhood. So you got to think, there's only so many voices that are getting presented there. So when we want to build a new dog park or a splash pad or whatever it is, don't think that you don't have any input, because your input matters a lot. We usually only get a few dozen responses, right? And then that dictates what we move forward with. During the budget process, only a handful of people will submit, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to invest here, we want to cut here. If you want to see something different, you got to speak up, right? And so it's either reaching out to your counselor, myself, anyone else, the mayor, or to the city, call 311. You got to be involved. You got to share your input in terms of what you want to see. Otherwise, nothing will get changed.
And your message of hope for the people of Mississauga, the message Alvin Tedjo wants to send out to the people today?
The message is, we are an amazing place to live, and we have some of the best people working in the city and for the city. And so I think if we can give people that vision of hope and a future where we are the most livable, walkable city in the country, then we can do it, because we're going to come together and we're going to do it together. So it's a place that I want to grow up and live in. It's a place I want my kids to grow up and live in. And I want the people who are here to be proud of where they come from.
This man eats, breathes, sleeps, City of Mississauga. Alvin Tedjo, thank you so much for being so gracious with your time for the past few weeks and sending out the messages. And reach him out. He's got a great website, Alvin Tedjo. Check him out on YouTube with his podcast In Camera. And excited for what the future is going to bring for you, my friend. And stay tuned. There's more to come.
Thank you so much. Thank you both.
Chosen Life Podcast. Thanks, everyone.